Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Tech-Tonic, the podcast. I am Bugs, and I'm here with Kingsley.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
It's been a busy week indeed. But I think once we start on the note of our last episode, where we talked about a couple of eggs that happened in Zimbabwe. There was a bank that we didn't disclose, but now it's on public now. Yeah, the bank was ZB, right? And there was Silk News egg, there was that Windsor egg, and on top of that, there's another egg that was added on that list. The list is growing. But I think what I wanna start with today is ZB. Let's make it clear. According to falconfeeds.io, they had a tweet which was saying, "We have identified and begun monitoring a new ransomware group named Mad Liberator. They've listed 6 victims to their dark web portal." They started listing the victims. The first victim was ZB Financial Holdings, Zimbabwe, South African CITES Network, South Africa, just to mention a few. And ZB refused. Like, they didn't actually stand up and tell their customers that they were actually hacked. Is it a good thing if, to be specific, the data of customers was hacked and they didn't stand up for them?
I was reading about this ZB issue.
Yeah.
I realized that, when these groups attack banks, they are thinking they're going to get $100 million in ransomware.
Yeah.
But I think, as it turned out, ZB evaluated and realized that the ransomware and the data that was stolen, they're not equivalent, right?
Okay.
So also, there's this other thing where you have to manage your stakeholders. You have to manage public relations. You can't really accept that you've been hacked, because what happened, as far as I'm concerned, no one lost their money.
But
The
issue isn't about money always.
No, here's the thing.
Yeah.
So what's important to you as a customer? You are concerned about your finances. You're concerned about your money.
No.
No. So I'm taking it from that perspective.
Yeah.
We're saying that I think when they looked at this, right, they realized that this data is not more important than the ransomware amount. And they said, you can leak the data, you can do what you want with the data. And as far as I'm concerned, no one is gotten a hold of the data.
I don't have an issue with them not paying the attackers, right? That's their it was up to them to evaluate, and they did what was best for them. What I have issue with is when you get attacked and customer data is taken, and you don't tell the customers that we got hacked, your data was exposed. What am I trying to say is, I don't want to mention this company, but this thing happened. There was another company that was just before, very, very, like few months before ZB was hacked. And I personally had an account with them where I reused one of my passwords on one of their apps. They got attacked a very few days later. After they got checked, I got a notification from Google where it was saying one of your passwords has been compromised.
One of your passwords is...
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
But the fact that I knew that this company was saying, and this very same password I reused it on one of their services. The only thing that I ended up doing was I changed the password on the other service. But now, what I'm saying is, they got hacked. They didn't tell their customers. What if there is a customer who reused a certain password on one of their services and the data is outside there? The consequences.
Yeah, so I think, to be honest, they were supposed to notify their customers, but probably, maybe we can argue on the time frames, right?
Yeah.
When the data was exposed and when they actually announced to their customers that they had been hacked and they had been attacked, and that some of the customer data was leaked. But I also believe that it's sort of like a shared responsibility model where, like what you did, Google doesn't want you to do that. They don't want you to reuse passwords.
Yeah, that's the thing, but people reuse passwords.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you have to, as much as the bank or as much as these organizations are responsible for securing your data, securing your personal details, you're also responsible for taking care of yourself, for putting strong passwords and not using passwords across services. But yeah, I think this is one thing we have to look at, like the consumer data protection things, because imagine our data is being, like what happened in the case of ZB.
Yeah.
I never saw anything in regards to like the legal side where they're questioning that, you lost data for consumer data, millions, gigs of consumer data. What are you going to do about it? Now this data is live online. What are the implications? What are the implications for your customers? And I also saw that employee data was leaked. What are the implications of having employee data on the dark web? So I think those things now need to be addressed, saying this attack happened. This is no one's fault. Someone.
It's someone's fault. Yeah, it's someone's fault. But like mostly someone within the company.
So I talked to an undisclosed source. They said that they were not aware of how this happened. Like they have no idea how they were attacked. But like I always tell the guys that it's the emails. You've won an iPhone.
That's true.
That's the email. It's easier to get hacked when you open an email. So like I was saying, we have the employee data that's outside. Now it's going to be easier for them to be attacked, because imagine you have a database of all of ZB's employees' emails. Now it's
and they're not even aware.
Exactly.
The employees.
Exactly.
Probably the employees are aware.
But and now consider the implications of having thousands of customer phone numbers out there. So basically, you can receive a notification saying that you need to do a password reset. So it's quite broad. This thing is big, maybe bigger than we thought or bigger than we assumed. But somehow they're saying that they were able to contain it. They didn't release any funds. They didn't do anything in regards to that. They didn't pay the ransomware. And they are going as if nothing has happened. But I think it's a story that we'd have to follow the developments. So moving on from that, our favorite show.
To be honest, I was heartbroken.
I remember.
That's one of the situations that I was really heartbroken.
I remember.
Tina Yongabi. Come on, guys.
So a couple of days ago, our favorite show, the DNA disclosure show, was hacked. But like, remember when you talked about the previous hacks, like those influential channel hacks, I told you that you have to protect your accounts. You have to protect your social media. So now we can't really say that it's Tinashe Mgabe as an individual. Because I do understand that it's a group that really do manage this media. And when you have a scenario like that, you have to have those things in place, like 2FA in place. You have to have like multiple, because remember, when you sign in on a new device with your Gmail account, it prompts you to accept that. Is this you? All of those things. So I think it's things.
And even like someone can just access your email. They have your email and they choose to forget it. Then probably the phone number is already out there. So they can choose to forget and choose your phone number as the way of.
True.
So if you have 2FA, you'll be safe.
So
The worst thing is when your 2FA, like probably like for this international government situation, what I was thinking is, let's say there is someone who got access to their credentials to their email. Now, how do they? Still, it's a little bit complicated. It's a little bit complicated. Let me try to explain what I was thinking. Someone can't just take a YouTube account from nowhere.
Yeah, they can.
One thing that they have to do when they hack is to log into their account first. Probably they have the credentials. They have to log in. If you log in on a new device, 2FA is triggered.
Yeah, but
that's one thing.
Right? Is it triggered all the time, or it's triggered when you initially set it up?
Like if it's there, yeah.
That's the thing.
So can we say there was no 2FA on? Can you probably say there was no 2FA on this email?
For this account, because you know what, in the past I've lost Gmail accounts, I've forgotten passwords.
Yeah.
Personally, they were my accounts.
Yeah.
But it would be difficult for me to actually recover them.
Because you didn't
exactly because I didn't have 2FA, I didn't have recovery emails in place. But I think it's those things that I mentioned this before. When you are responsible for probably these big channels that have massive amounts of volume, because I can imagine the amount of money that they're losing now, the amount of revenue that they're losing.
Yeah, but they managed to recover it now. They managed to recover. Yeah. But like, I think they were I think around Thursday, right? Or Friday. I think they recovered it on the day after holiday. That was Wednesday, I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So you see, in circumstances where you have these big channels, you have to consider security. It's a very big thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to dilly-dally around security, and also like just basic training of your account admins. Don't just open emails. Right? Don't just open emails from people saying, because recently, actually my mother, right? She has a Facebook account that is traffic.
Yeah.
And she got a message. Let me read the message. It was weird.
Yeah. I think it's one thing that everyone, like someone actually commented on our video saying, you guys were saying this, the influential people. It should be everyone.
So it says, dear admin, how do you put up the message anyways?
Yeah.
We have conducted a review of your business account, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So basically they give you a link, and once you click that link, apparently they will show you a clone of Facebook. And that clone of Facebook, it has a prompt for you to log in. Once you log in, it's game over. They now have your credentials. So you have to be wary of these things. Don't just click links that come to your email. So I think basic online safety training is necessary for admins, because musicians are getting hacked, these big channels are getting hacked, and even internet, like big financial organizations are getting hacked. So
but I can't even imagine, like for Tinashe Mugabe, the whole show, like 4 days without anyone watching. It's actually revenue that is just that they are losing.
Yeah.
And I think people should now take this whole thing serious.
Yeah. So I think, like I said, Zimbabwe was this country that was isolated from what was going on outside. Yeah. And now the internet is now fairly affordable for everyone. Everyone is there. Everyone is watching YouTube. Everyone, it's fairly affordable. But like we caught up to that we are all online. But the thing of security,
we never paid attention to it.
We never really paid attention to how do you secure your details online, how do you stay safe online. So I think those things, as an individual, I think they're things that you might want to look into. Because I remember some time ago, so a friend of mine, they sent me a message, right, from PayPal.
Yeah.
So PayPal was asking him to send money. I think it was $50, so that they could send $200. I told them, check the emails. Like, so you check the email header, you just see that this is not PayPal.
The other thing, don't be greedy.
So
Marino Shanti, wait.
Exactly. So it's these weird things that if you have like basic knowledge, you just know that I know this is a scam. This is crazy. This is
Yeah.
I think it was in the movie The Beekeeper.
Yeah.
And that old lady got scammed.
Yeah.
Killing herself was crazy, but like she got scammed. Like those things, those exploits.
Yeah.
People just need to be aware.
And now with AI, the scams are getting more scarier and more advanced. Like recently I was seeing this other lady where she was convinced to transfer money to someone through a video call that was a deepfake. And that someone, the person she thought she was transferring money to was a grandchild. But it was through deepfake. So these things are getting scarier in advance.
I don't know, like there are some basics, right, that you can spot that no, this is a scam. But like anyways, moving on.
Before you leave, so we added detention gap at the list, right? They closed it. There is another another rumor. This one I have to read it. I have to read it. This was a tweet from Zimbabwe Independent. I don't know if it's actually their official. I didn't manage to check if actually their official Twitter, but they said markets. This was a tweet. Markets were unsettled recently as rumors emerged that one of the country's biggest lenders had been hacked by digital attackers. Reports claimed the attackers demanded ransomware, but the financial institution reported extortion.
I think this is ZB. I think this is ZB. Everything in this tweet basically points to ZB. Ransomware, but they rebutted the extortive moves. Basically, this is ZB.
They're doing. I thought they were two, because they used a logo for Bengas Association of Zimbabwe. So I thought that's what they're talking about.
No.
Now
so ZB is, it's a member of
Bengas Association of Zimbabwe. Yeah. This sounds so ZB anyway. So it's time we take this serious, guys. It's time we take this serious, and I think we can move on to one of the biggest things that happened last week. And you managed to attend it. So don't laugh. So there was a SADC Summit public lecture at the University of Zimbabwe, and
I did not attend the lecture.
At the same time, there were some what were they?
Exhibitions. They were exhibitions.
To me, it sounded. I thought it was technological innovations, but I ended up seeing that they were just exhibitions.
Yeah, they were just exhibitions.
Yeah, and we managed to go there.
Yeah, so it was,
what did you see? Any highlight?
we were not allowed to take pictures.
Yeah,
but we visited a couple of stands. So we actually went to the Zinxa stand.
Yeah.
And we saw the prototype for the what do you call it? The shuttle.
The PETS 5 project.
Exactly.
The satellite.
Exactly. So we managed to see a prototype for that one. And we talked to the guy, and he said that he'd be interested to talk to us. I think we'll bring you an exclusive on that one. That was quite interesting. Yeah,
but one thing I learned on that day was we have some. They need to clear.
Yeah.
Or they need to teach them, to let the Zimbabweans know how these things works. What are they?
Yeah, and
what satellite things?
And what benefits is the country going to derive from all of these things going on? But I really do look forward to that interview with those guys. We'll bring it up in a couple weeks.
We'll hope they will come.
And they had a bunch of drones. So it's basic stuff, but like the beds project was actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
I think once we talk to them, we will bring it back.
Then there's another stand that in the University of Zimbabwe stand. There was a project that was there.
So they had numerous projects actually. They had smart greenhouse. They had
There was the
what you call it?
It was more of a speed normalizer of some sort.
And a speed monitoring device.
Yeah.
I think so. When you talk to them, right, they said that they would be willing to do a shoot with us. I think that's when we can actually elaborate on how these things are working and what they plan on doing. But like for this time, we just attended and it was quite good. We unfortunately were not able to get any footage of anything.
But one thing I wanted to know, what like, I think you have participated in some of these innovation, like exhibitions of innovative ideas in quotes, where people come up with great ideas and great projects, but at the end it just end in the head or at the exhibition. So you never see these things coming to life.
So France won the World Cup in 2018.
Yeah.
Why am I saying this? I remember there was a hackathon. I remember because there was the World Cup and there was a hackathon. Until one was doing the hackathon by it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think there was 4 week.
Yeah.
And there were innovative projects. I remember there was one about learning local languages. A number of things were there, right?
Yeah.
So people actually won money. So one actually gave these people money. But like, what happened to these projects?
Yeah.
People spent the money on like buying new devices. People buy themselves laptops. They would rent out, space at innovation hubs and whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So with these exhibitions, right? Just like the exhibition that we had, that they are established organizations, just like Zinxa. They're established. They don't really need any funding or, they're just exhibiting what they do. Yeah. And there were those supercomputers. What did they call themselves?
I think it was HCPZ, something like that. Higher computing.
Exactly. Those guys, they're just demonstrating what they have. They don't really care about funding. And when we talk to them, they say that, if you are a student, you can come and you can make use of the supercomputer. If you want to train your AI models, you can come and you can train and then they say that they will just charge if organizations want to come and do these things.
Yeah, for individuals it's free.
But individuals it's free. So, there are those things that we can raise awareness about, saying that, there are these things that you can utilize. They're there, but like people are not aware. Yeah. And then we move on to people who are actually looking for funding, people with ideas and projects and looking for funding. My take on that is that when it comes to projects, when it comes to ideas, these ideas have to make business sense at the end of the day. Yeah. They have to be able to be scaled and produced in a cost-effective manner. All of those things, I think as founders, as creators, we forget those things. Yeah. But that is why business majors are important. You have your idea, but like, are you solving a problem? Yeah. Is there something that someone wants? When you say equity, you're going to market, how much money are you going to use? How much money are you going to spend? Okay. What is going to be the cost to the end consumer? Yeah. So it's those things, it's those conversations that people in IT don't like to hear. Because I tell you, you know what? Your solution has been made several times. Yeah. So I think we can spin to Sasai. Sasai, that thing didn't make sense. When they launched it, 2019, 2020, I told myself and I told people that this thing doesn't make sense. You can go back in time, you can read the articles, but I told you that this thing does not make sense. Because why? Yeah. Why is this thing? Why does this thing exist? They're trying to solve a problem of their own creation. They created a problem and then they tried to solve it, and no one was buying into it. So we go back to these exhibitions, right? There are people with ideas, but these ideas need to be nurtured. They need more than just you need more than just an idea. You need an idea that is solving a problem. This thing that solves a problem, can it actually help people? Can it be brought to the market and will people actually adopt it? So that's where the disconnect is. And you think you're being ignored, but you're not really being ignored. There's a disconnect between your idea and the people that you're trying to help with your idea. They're simple things. They're simple. So in IT, I think we are We are those people that try to depict a
Yeah.
But sometimes it's these simple solutions, like proper simple solutions that we might need. So in exhibitions, I think those things. So exhibitions, they give you this idea where. So I saw a couple of people exchanging business cards and everything.
Yeah.
You have your idea, you have your project. So someone comes and they like your project. I think it gives you that opportunity to say, I know what, I've seen what you're doing, but can we do ABC to try to make your thing marketable, try to make it valuable, try to create value out of this thing. So that's my take on it.
That's so profound.
Sorry for rambling for so long.
But actually, a lot of things, literally everything that you said was making sense. I actually have also noted that the biggest thing when all these ideas are drafted, they build a prototype. But the issue is it there might be a problem, but is it feasible enough?
Yes. So I think you have to mention that story that you always tell me when it comes to these things. Like this, the flow is yours.
I don't remember what.
Anyway, no, bro. You kept talking about Netflix.
Yeah, that's why. Anyway, that's where I was coming to.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is it feasible in terms of cost, everything?
Yeah.
Then the other thing is, it shouldn't be that coming to the Netflix issue. I was listening to the podcast when the CEO of Netflix was actually saying, you shouldn't build a problem. There might be a problem, but you can find a solution to a problem and bring the solution to the people. And will the people accept your solution to the problem? So actually, he was saying you have to test a product first before developing it. What was he saying? The biggest issue that I've seen is in most of we as developers, when we have an idea, we go into the lab or we spend 2 years working on a solution. When you are locked indoors, after you think the product is now ready for market, you went to go with it to the people.
And the people
when they tell you this thing doesn't work, you won't accept it.
Yeah, true.
You'll be in denial because there is 2 years that you spent while working on the issue. So the CEO Netflix, this Netflix CEO, was saying, take a simple, when you think that you have a solution, simplify it and try to test it. So he was explaining how he tested the Netflix before they started it. He was saying, we saw that people wanted movies, right? And then there were 2 guys, right? So they decided, let's just try to buy a CD. They raped it and they sent it via post office to the other friend's house.
And basically they tested their idea.
Yeah, before even working on the idea. When they went back home in the evening, they found the CD was already delivered. So that's how they started the idea.
You see.
So instead of them starting building the platform, they started the idea first. Exactly. So I think it's one thing that people should consider before even starting on this project. But at the same time, just to add on that, there is one other thing. If you remember on episode 1, we're talking about this selfishness.
Yeah, so you know what, so I talked to a foreigner, right? So they're saying where they come from, there is only one banking application.
Yeah.
And every bank basically works within that application. Right. So we do not come from a collaborative background. Yeah. We are competing amongst ourselves. So from episode 1 to this episode, okay, I've turned off. I've changed. I've realized that the error in my ways or in my thinking. Yeah. We cannot be selfish, right? We have to share technology because we are not yet at that level where we can be selfish. Yeah. Because you know what, all the technology that we're using is because people are not selfish. Imagine you're using Java. Yeah. That someone wrote and gave you
for free. Yeah.
We're using databases. We're using technologies. We're using protocols. Like there are a number of things that we're using.
We have the whole open source ecosystem.
The whole open source ecosystem. Yeah. So I would say that we have to move to that side where we collaborate. I know people are afraid of having their ideas stolen, but when we have these ideas, we have to put them out there. We have to collaborate.
Yeah.
We have to work together. We're not yet at that stage where we can be selfish.
Yeah.
Now we have to work together to go somewhere. You know.
You might have ideas, pretty good ideas.
Yes.
But if you work alone, sometimes
Yeah.
you won't solve these problems.
Yeah, true.
We need to work together as individuals, as companies, as both private and public sectors.
Yeah, as a collective.
Let's work together. Sometimes we don't need to be selfish.
Yeah, true. Because at the end of the day, we want to create this future where
It's for Zimbabwe.
yeah. So what we've done now, we want it to benefit the people that come in the future, you know.
That's true. Do you have anything that you want to talk about?
Oh, so InnBucks is a swipe card. It's SIM switch enabled swipe card.
Yeah. Seems like I think we have two. I don't know if I'm allowed to name the company, but we have two institutions that are really disruptive.
But is
in the financial sector.
So a friend of mine mentioned that someone who's going to solve payments, they're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So InnBucks, when they started the rewards program, right?
Yeah.
And the rewards program and change and whatever. But like now they're growing into a full-blown financial system.
Yeah.
Financial institution. So for me, as a consumer, this is really good news.
Yeah.
Because the next thing they're going to have a Visa. The next thing they have a MasterCard. So this is a really good thing from a consumer standpoint and for the industry as a whole. So I actually applaud.
And to be really honest, I really applauded them when they started that whole remittance thing. These guys, they are they are really networked around the country. Right? I've seen a number of companies venturing into remittance where they don't have outlets. They are just depending on collaborating with other institutions.
Yeah, but
of course,
just a moment ago you said
yeah. That's what I was about to say. Of course, collaborating with other institutions is a good thing. But are you bringing any innovation? You're just repeating what is already there. You find a single outlet having 9 remittances. For what? Let's be innovative and stop just repeating things.
I think we'll get to this point where remittances will, as a business, they'll die down. Because once everyone starts using like mobile money and it's accepted to that level, remittances will die. So you were in India, is there a thing to remit money or it's an
need of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get that in Zimbabwe, remittances are a problem, are a solution to our custom problems. But in the future, these things will die down.
And these things are too many now.
Yeah, no, besides them being like we have a plethora of remittance institutions or whatever, or functions in whatever. Like at some point in time, these things will die down because everyone will have mobile money and it will be accepted everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, for now it's a good business, but in the future,
I can't wait for that. Maybe by that time people will start being innovative.
Yeah, true.
There's one thing that I wanted to add on the list of, but this is a different thing. There is a scammer out there who is pretending to be the Minister of Industry and Commerce. Guys, who I think
if you receive an email from the Minister of Industry, you have to be suspicious.
Yeah, that's one thing. And sometimes we shouldn't fall for these things.
So
I think we are.
I get where you're coming from, but the problem with these things is that you have experience in this sector, right? So you're an IT guy, right? You understand this.
Yeah.
But when we go to finances, you might not get anything. Just like insurance.
Yeah.
I had issues with my insurance because of some
lack of knowledge
and some fine print and some clauses and whatever.
Yeah.
But like that was me because I'm not into that. Someone who's into that will clearly see that, dude, didn't you see
this and this,
right? So that's what happens when it comes to IT. Not many people know what you know. So you take it for granted. You take what you know for granted.
Yeah.
Right? You take knowing that this is a scam, or like just the basics that you look at, you think that everyone knows. Right?
Yeah.
You go back to how people are getting hacked. People don't know some of these basic things. Right? Because this is something new completely. It's a new frontier. Right? So, like you keep on saying that this channel, it aims to educate people.
Yeah.
So I think at some point you're gonna bring like IT specialists and whatever to, you know, to just
Drill down on these things.
yeah, exactly. But like this is the same thing, yeah.
But to be honest, when it sounds too good to be true, you should question.
Sure.
There's nothing important about anyone. It's about that these guys will just pop up into
you know what?
Come on.
So
guys.
in town, people do this thing, chadon.
Oh, those kind of yeah.
People get scammed where you basically you find money together.
Yeah.
And I think most Zimbabweans know this scam.
Yeah.
It happens because we
The
are
love
people.
of money.
Exactly, we are people. We fall for these things at times. But so yeah, they did issue a press statement, which is good of them.
We shared. I think this is one of the things that I really like, where people are educated, people are noted. They're notified when there is something fishy that is happening.
So I think also organizations should try to invest in those verification badges, you know.
Yeah,
those blue. So a blue check mark now, it's like $9, right?
Yeah.
I think $9 depending on the platform.
Okay.
But I think organizations have to have those gold badges.
Yeah.
Just like I think Econet customer support has that one.
Yeah.
So you really know that you're talking to Econet customer support, which is
I think it's one of the things that should be enforced.
Yeah, it's quite expensive
by the government.
Anyways, it's so it's this thing that gives you confidence. You know that this is
really them.
This is really them.
Yeah.
So props to them. So moving on, StarLink issued a statement. I think this was an email, right?
Yeah, it seemed like it was an email too.
So how would you put the email up?
Yeah.
But apparently, in short, they're basically saying that people bought StarLink and they bought StarLink, in other countries and are using roaming.
Yeah.
So in Zim, I know that a number of people are using StarLink in Zim, but roaming from Zambia. They're saying that starting on 21 August, which is a few days from now, they're going to basically cut internet connectivity for those clients. And they are saying that they're working on, what are they working on? Basically, they're working on obtaining the necessary regulatory approvals, which they pushed on to 2025. So this basically means that there is going to be service disruption up until 2025.
I think there's always a price for buying something that is fully authorized in your country. You only experience it as much as you want it. There are a lot of conveniences.
The problem with this story is that, you remember when we covered the story a couple of episodes back, is that we were not prepared for something like StarLink coming to Zimbabwe. So I would say that this is more of an us thing versus a StarLink thing.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So if we were prepared to facilitate StarLink operating in Zimbabwe with basically with the necessary regulations imposed on them, it will be working right now.
Yeah.
You know. But we were not ready. So that's causing, all of these issues. And basically they're going to block people, and I know it sucks. And we're going back to ZO, which is expensive. It's crazy. Even though they're saying they reduced prices, they're still expensive.
Welcome back home, guys.
But anyways,
I think this will be one of our last thing. There's an Tech Innovation Expo, another one at HIT from 3 to 7 September, and the theme is Beyond Disruptive Innovation.
Yeah, so
I think we should attend this.
Probably. So if you check out TechZim's website, they have a list of upcoming tech events.
Yeah, that's nice.
Credits to TechZim. So you can just check on their calendar and you see these things. Maybe you'll see some of you guys over there.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's it from us. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you guys. Please subscribe and like and share.
I really just want you to just watch these videos. You subscribe, but like you just have to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Catch you on the next one.